search and rescue operation. The ministerial team also met with the family members of the missing man, Neptune Hercules, who has worked in the bauxite industry for some 42 years. The tragic incident occurred on Saturday.
On Saturday, about 4 hours, an incident occurred here at BOSAI, East Montgomery Mine, where one of our employees, Neptune Hercules, was operating a caterpillar dozer, and about 4 hours, the dozer and operator was observed missing.
The family was immediately informed and we bring them to site. We explained to them what was going on, and at the moment we're trying to make them comfortable as much as possible. We're providing food, water, and a regular briefing as we move forward in this rescue operation.
BOSAI officials explained that they immediately sprang into action to find the man, but despite days of searching, his body and the machine are yet to be recovered.
The first thing that is done, we did manual probing with steel rods to see if we can locate where the machine was covered. Right? We also deployed 2 hydraulic excavators to start removing overburden, right? And we employed got a number of metal detectors, which were used to systematically traverse the area where the failure occurred.
The company has since suspended all its operations. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister and his team assure the family of the government's full support.
You, the family members, are here. We want to take this opportunity, right, to assure you that what is being done here is still a search and rescue mission, okay? And the work will go on until we locate the equipment and your dad, okay? We will not give up until that is located, okay? The reason why they didn't work last night is because the advice of the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, right, had advised them not to do any work during the night from a safety concern, okay?
Meanwhile, Labour Minister Joseph Hamilton has announced that an investigation is underway and a preliminary report should be available by this weekend.
The issue about safety, the issue about how safe or unsafe the place was, all of those issues would come into play.
Relatives of the missing man are calling for a full investigation of the incident, but more so, an investigation to ascertain if the company's operations and its safety systems are being followed. Hercules was set to retire in October this year. He was the sole breadwinner for his family. His wife only recently passed away. Tassia Dickinson for the Evening News.
The evening news is also following another development in Linden, wherein 32-year-old Sergeant of Police Jermaine Semple is now hospitalized after he was allegedly shot by his cousin, Fawaz McRae, a 27-year-old building contractor of Central Amelius Ward. The incident occurred at about 21:30 hours on Sunday at the Crown and Anchor Grill and Bar in Linden, following an argument between the victim, his brother, and the suspect. During the altercation, which initially started between the two brothers, the cousin went to intervene, resulting in a fight erupting between him and the victim. As a result, the cousin took out his licensed handgun, 1.32 pistol, and discharged 2 rounds in the victim's direction. 1 bullet struck the victim in his head, causing him to receive severe injuries. He was then rushed to the Linden Hospital complex, where he was later transferred to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation due to the seriousness of his injury. His condition is listed as critical. The suspect was arrested and the firearm was retrieved. The suspect received injuries to his left elbow and right ear during the fight and was escorted to the hospital for medical attention, where he was subsequently discharged and is currently in police custody assisting with the investigation. Yet another tragedy has struck the mining town of Linden, wherein a popular businessman and taxi driver of the town, 41-year-old Darren Henry, was killed in an accident. The The taxi driver of 1024 Phase 1B Wisrock Housing Scheme Linden died after he allegedly lost control of the car he was driving and crashed into a barranca in the vicinity of Long Creek Public Road, Linden, Soustike Highway. At the time of the accident, 36-year-old Shanika Campaign was the other occupant, but she reportedly sustained minor injuries. Police stated that the accident occurred at about 22:50 hours on Saturday and involved a motor car PTT 6945 owned and driven by Henry. Henry succumbed to his injuries while receiving medical treatment. Investigations are ongoing. We now tell you that a report recently commissioned by EXXONMOBIL into the cumulative impact of its planned 35-well drilling campaign in the Stabroek Block has claimed that there will be no adverse impacts on either small or industrial-sized fishing from the project. Gerald Bryan has the details.
EXXONMOBIL has been seeking approval from the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, for exploration appraisal wells in the Stabroek Block. An impact assessment of these wells was done by ERM Guyana, which conducts environmental, health, safety, and risk assessments at the behest of EXXONMOBIL. The cumulative impact assessment found that the effects of these wells on both small and large-scale fishing is small. ERM explained that data was gathered about 3 fishing companies, each with 15 to 35 vessels. It was found that industrial fishing is confined to the area between the Stabroek Block and the shore. It was further noted that safe maritime practices and communication protocols ensure that fishing vessels steer clear of oil exploration. EXXONMOBIL has said that the 35 wells will be drilled for either exploration or appraisal purposes since they are located close to previous discoveries. They have also said that once all approvals are granted, then the drilling of the wells can start in the 2023 third quarter. It is also expected that the proposed drilling campaign will come to an end by the fourth quarter of 2028. The issue of the booming oil industry and its impact on the fishing sector was previously put under the microscope with the Food and Agricultural Organization conducting a study. That study, however, has since found that the oil industry is not responsible for the low catches of fish which some fisher folk have been complaining about. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
Civil society, including representation from the opposition benches, has come out in strong condemnation of recent remarks made by a Working People's Alliance spokesperson to seek to promote racial confrontation in the country. From the private sector to trade unions and politicians on both sides of the political divide, the WPA, an opposition party, is coming under fire. Here's a look.
President Dr. Irfan Ali, as well as the Joint Services of Guyana and Attorney General Anil Nandlal, have already made strong statements condemning the reckless, racist, and divisive remarks made by Working People's Alliance executive member Takuma Agonze during a public meeting on Thursday last at Buxton, East Coast, Demerara. Condemnation continues to pour in from all quarters of society. Opposition Member of Parliament Gita Chandan Edmund issued a statement distancing herself from such utterances. Moreover, she condemned the remarks made by the WPA member, noting that it can lead to public disorder in an already ethnically inflamed environment. She said, and I quote, "I wish to publicly disassociate myself from the inflammatory statements and call for responsible actions and commentaries from politicians, civil society, and activists alike. There must be stronger national effort to build a unified nation." End quote. The remarks were also condemned by the opposition's Ganesh Mahipal and Natasha Singh Lewis, Georgetown Mayor Yubraj Narain, and Region 4 Chairman Daniel C. Ram. In their statements of condemnation, the opposition members expressed disappointment that the comments by the WPA rep were not challenged by any subsequent speaker at the meeting. Those subsequent speakers included opposition leader Aubrey Norton. Moreover, the Private Sector Commission, which is led by Paul Chung, issued a statement labeling the remarks as irresponsible and completely reckless. The PSC also called upon the leadership of every political party to condemn and reject this kind of political behavior aimed at threatening the peace and security of the nation. The Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry, headed by Timothy Tucker, in its statement of condemnation, made it clear that the body has absolutely no tolerance for any agent or agency desirous of inciting racial tensions, hostility, or ill will against any person of a specific gender, class, or race. The GCCI expressed that, and I quote, "It is disheartening and appalling to see a fossilized way of thinking being resurrected, and urgings in the direction of sowing havoc, disharmony, and the destabilization of our democracy. There is no place for this type of behavior in the landscape of Guyana." End quote. Meanwhile, the Federation of Independent Trade Unions, FITUG, has also denounced the remarks, noting that it is deeply disturbed and appalled by open and unvarnished race baiting by the WPA member. FITUG reminded that, and I quote, "Given our country's difficult past of tenuous race relations, the expressions by the leaders of the WPA demand our widest condemnation. They have no place and should be confined to the dustbin of history. To engage in such narratives, in our view, demonstrates how far the WPA has drifted from its multi-ethnic moorings. It also indicates that the political grouping has really nothing to add to the national discourse and has chosen to descend to the pits in an effort to seek to remain relevant, though it really should be ostracized." End quote.
A team from the Office of the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, is in Guyana for a short visit to advance discussions on a number of areas, including climate change, as well as food and energy security. In a statement on Sunday, the U.S. Embassy in Georgetown said the visiting delegation will comprise of VP Harris's Special Advisor for the Western Hemisphere, Joseph Salazar, and Deputy Director for the Western Hemisphere Affairs, Office of Caribbean Affairs, Michael Taylor. They arrived in Guyana on Sunday and will be here until Tuesday. During their visit, the delegation will meet with government officials, business leaders, and non-governmental organizations, leading on issues of governance, security, and prosperity. In fact, today the reps met with President Dr. Irfan Ali. Coming up, Kurukuru man shot dead one day after his life was threatened, and fire destroys Bartica house. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
It's the big taste you love. Devon Big Six. For when you want more. Devon Big Six. The biggest six in Guyana. More chocolate. More custard. More value. Devon Big Six. Put a smile on your face.
It was a long car ride home, and Kyla started to crave the all-natural Ripples Crunch. Ah yes, that was all she could think about. She thought she was dreaming, but it seemed so real. Daydream or not, the craving still hit, and she couldn't wait to rip into it. Sunshine Snacks Ripples Chips. Rip into 100% real potato goodness.
Sunshine Snacks Ripples. Rip into real potato.
Play virtual blackjack for an exclusive gaming experience. Do you have what it takes to beat the dealer? Visit www.superbet.gy and check out all the different bet types. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly. Superbet, your best bet.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. One day after his ex-wife threatened to kill him, a 59-year-old man was on Wednesday last shot dead at his Kurukuru, Linden Susike Highway home. Police only recently released information concerning the death of Brian Thomas, a block maker. According to police reports, Thomas's ex-wife went to the Kurukuru police outpost on Monday last and filed a report that he threatened to chop her up and kill her. As a result, Thomas was arrested and placed into custody at the Highway Patrol Base pending further investigations. However, Thomas was released from custody the following day, and upon arrival at his home, he observed the front door open and the the house was ransacked. Thomas subsequently reported the break-in at the Kurukuru police outpost and related to the police that his ex-wife wanted to kill him for his house and land. On Wednesday, a 30-year-old female of Grand Sand Road, Soosdijk, went to the Tamari police station where she reported that earlier that evening at about 21 hours, she went to Thomas's home to pay for a quantity of blocks, which she had ordered from him. The woman told the police that while standing at the bottom of the stairs, conversing with Thomas, two unidentifiable men, one of them sporting large puffy hair, rushed past her from behind and went up the stairs, charging towards Thomas, who was standing at the top of the stairs. According to the woman, she heard one of the perpetrators telling Thomas, "You ice past me." The woman immediately ran out of the yard and went to the Tamari police station and reported the incident. When the police arrived on the scene, Thomas was seen lying motionlessly, face down in the doorway of the second bedroom. Checks were made for anything of evidential value, and two 9mm spent shells were found on the kitchen floor. We now tell you that investigations are ongoing to determine the cause of a fire that destroyed a house located at Lot 40, 2nd Avenue, Bartica, Region 7. The incident occurred at around 15:36 hours on Thursday at the one-story wooden and concrete building, which was owned by 57-year-old Bhagwanti Rohit Joseph and occupied by 31-year-old Bisham Rohit and 25-year-old Kamesi Hendricks. As a result of the fire, the building and its contents were destroyed. Due to radiated heat, two houses located on the northern and southern sides of the building of origin suffered damage to a quantity of window panes, PVC guttering, and roof facing. Additionally, a motorcycle and Bose engine belonging to Bisham Rohit were also destroyed. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael joins us now to report that an old grievance over a cell phone led to the chopping death of a young man in New Amsterdam, Region 6, on Sunday.
22-year-old Kevin Small Jr., called Pad I of Patrick Dam, Mount Sinai, typically called Angais Avenue, was fatally chopped while Shamar Wilson is hospitalized. Based on reports received, the men were involved in a fight on Friday evening following an argument. According to the police, on Sunday morning at about 10 hours 30, Small, Wilson and another friend left Mount Sinai for the Kanji River at Caracas to swim. Upon their arrival, three other youths approached them, during which an argument ensued, which subsequently resulted in a fight. In his bid to escape, Small jumped into the river but was grabbed by one of the attackers, who started firing chops. Police said Wilson jumped to help his friend, but one of the attackers turned his attention to him and wounded him with a cutlass. Reports are that Wilson was subsequently assisted to get to the hospital. Meanwhile, Small reportedly fled the scene and went into hiding. Police Commander Shifprasad Baka said that his body was discovered at a home at Caracas, which is a neighboring community to Mount Sinai. The dead man's father, Kevin Small Sr., explained that he and others were at a shop in the community on Saturday evening playing games when three young men armed with cutlasses entered the business place.
Well, me saw no line there, but them come looking for other people who then send name calling. Them see me, then say, "Look, your father there here," and them think, well, nobody ain't try doing me nothing. But this man, I get a poly, he just sleep upstairs with me mother. I get a party for call Pony for tell you what going on and may see.
The aggrieved father explained that he left for work, but on his way home, he was informed that his son was chopped.
I asked them, we then nobody couldn't get a count with it. Well, we launch a search, and when we come down at the back, because he just there in the house there. There's someone his friend house, he just rest. He don't live there though. And when the man come down there, the man see the brace up at the back of the wall, and he didn't fully dead. He went bleeding, and the man put him for lie down on the sheet, and there he passed out.
Meanwhile, the injured man was found in an abandoned house tucked away in the bushes. According to Small, a cellular phone was misplaced, and his son was accused of stealing it.
And they tried to accuse me son them, and from there is where the problem started. The night before the last. I can't really give too much of details because I really know nothing. I try asking him, and at one time he even tried to tell me, well, he and there in the chaplain. Until I hear he there in the chaplain.
Commander Backer said they have arrested one person who is assisting with the investigation. Meanwhile, an autopsy performed on the body of Small by government pathologist Dr. Vivekanand Brijmohan gave the cause of death as shock and hemorrhage due to incised wound to the forearm. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
The Men on Mission initiative, led by President Irfan Ali and heavily supported by stakeholders countrywide, was able to construct 45 homes last year for persons in need, which included single parents and the elderly in the majority. In this Rupasina Ryan report, you will hear that over 70 requests are pending.
Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force Brigadier Godfrey Best informed at Monday's press conference that there are over 70 requests for better homes to be built by Men on Mission. Single parents, persons with disabilities, elderly individuals, and victims of natural disasters are the priority groups targeted. While a budgetary allocation of $500 million was set aside for Men on Mission this year, Best indicated that a specific amount has not been earmarked for such project. Thus far, homes have been constructed primarily through donations from stakeholders.
But His Excellency has directed that we work on building at least 50 homes in 2023. So far, we built over 40 homes, and I must say, of those 40 homes that we built, that most of the fundings of those homes so far has been from contributions from kind-hearted Guyanese, which include individuals, include organizations, and we are very much enthused and encouraged by our kind-hearted Guyanese. We have in excess of 26 essential requests, and we have more than 70 requests total. And we are looking at these requests, and the intention, as we said, is to roll out these activities as early as possible.
The Chief of Staff clarified that when a request is made for someone requiring assistance, certain criteria must be met to ensure transparency. There are also screenings for the most vulnerable to benefit.
Our assessments will ensure that homes are prepared for needy persons and based on a standard that our planning committee has worked on. If they're asking for homes to be built, we ask for a proof of ownership for the land the person is living on, also birth certificate, and at least one other form of identification. We ask for them to, if they have an existing building and it's not, if it's in a deplorable state, we ask for photograph, internal and external. We ask for recommendations from persons within the communities.
Some of the requirements include, apart from the formal request, proof of ownership of the land, a birth certificate, and one other form of identification. Photographs of the existing structure and recommendation from persons in the community are also requested. Rupa Sinarain, The Evening News.
At a time when the country is experiencing extremely low cases of COVID-19 infections, the Ministry of Health on Monday received a shipment of pills intended to treat patients with the disease. Fiona Morrison tells us more.
Guyana's capacity to treat COVID-19 has been enhanced as the Ministry of Health received on Monday 5,040 PAXLOVID pills from UNICEF. The pills are worth $1 million. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony received the pills from UNICEF's Deputy Representative for Guyana and Suriname, Irfan Akhtar, at a simple handing over ceremony. UNICEF and Pfizer BioNTech signed an agreement in 2022 to procure the oral antiviral medicine at a lower cost, so countries like Guyana can access the medication to treat patients. Patients who have mild or severe form of COVID-19 can receive the pills, which will be distributed in all regions.
Most people who use this medication actually saw a reduction in the time that they spent, and even if they were very symptomatic, you would see that change quite rapidly. The medication has been out for quite a while now. And one of the things that they are seeing with the use of the medication is that it has also decreased the incidence of long COVID. And I think that's a significant thing, why we should use the medication if we find patients who are sick with COVID.
I must emphasize that this medicine is available, but vaccination is a core component of COVID-19 prevention strategy. And I would like to encourage everyone who are eligible to take vaccines, get boosted, because vaccine saves life.
There were 9 active cases of COVID-19 as of March 10th, with one of them being hospitalized.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbor Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Tuesday, March 14th at 22 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Tuesday, March 14th at 12:55 hours for a period of 1.5 hours.
It's about time Ramson on GOA elections and Barrington, Harvey, Ace, Jefford, Smile. Details of these stories in this podcast sponsored by MacCorp coming up on the other side of the break.
John Lewis Styles has opened a new department, now offering home goods. Here you can find quality sheets and towels, pillows, blankets and even bath mats and shower curtains. Organize your laundry with clothes baskets, fabric steamers, irons and ironing boards. For the kitchen we have small appliances, towels and mittens, pot sets and dinner sets too. Decorate the house with mirrors, picture frames, floating shelves and decorative pillows. All these and more on Waterloo Street. It's fashion for the home. John Lewis Styles. Simply
Complete control of power is in your hands with the ultimate U.S. brand Generac generators from Sylvie's Variety Store. Get the supply and reliability you need every time. From 1,800 to 8,000 watts of power for residential and commercial use. Recoil and electric start with gasoline engines. Generac generators from the authorized dealers Sylvie's Variety Store.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.